Have you ever gone to bed completely exhausted even though your body barely did any physical work today? Have you ever wondered why your mind feels like it has been running a marathon while your body hasn't even left the room? What if the real reason you're mentally exhausted has almost nothing to do with how hard you work? What if your brain has been quietly draining its own energy without you even realizing it? Most people blame stress, lack of sleep, or a busy schedule for their exhaustion, but psychology reveals a much deeper and more disturbing truth. Your brain may not be tired because you're doing too much. Your brain may be tired because it's fighting invisible battles every single minute of the day. Every unread message and every uncomfortable memory, every unfinished task, every awkward conversation you keep replaying, every comparison you make while scrolling through social media, every decision you postpone, every emotion you pretend doesn't exist. Each one silently steals a little more of your mental energy. And the frightening part is that most people never notice it happening. They wake up already feeling drained. They drink more coffee. They blame their age. They blame their job. They blame the world around them. But they never question what their own mind has been secretly doing behind the scenes. Imagine carrying a backpack every single day. At first it feels almost weightless. Then someone quietly adds one small stone. Then another. Then another. Eventually, the backpack becomes so heavy that even standing still feels exhausting. Your brain works in almost the same way. Mental exhaustion rarely arrives all at once. It grows silently through thousands of tiny psychological burdens that your conscious mind barely notices. This is why some people feel completely drained after spending an entire day sitting at a desk. This is why someone can sleep for 10 hours and still wake up feeling mentally empty. This is why doing absolutely nothing can sometimes leave you feeling more exhausted than working all day. The real enemy isn't always your workload. Sometimes it's the invisible noise constantly running inside your own head. Psychologists have discovered that your brain was never designed to stay connected to endless information every waking moment. Yet modern life demands exactly that. Notifications, emails, news headlines, social media feeds, unfinished goals, constant comparison. Your brain never truly gets permission to rest. Even during moments of silence, your mind often continues solving problems that don't even exist anymore. Have you noticed how one small mistake from years ago can suddenly appear in your thoughts for no reason? Have you noticed how one negative comment can overpower 100 compliments? Have you noticed how your brain keeps preparing for conversations that may never happen? That isn't weakness. That isn't laziness. That isn't a lack of motivation. It's your brain trying to protect you using survival systems that evolved thousands of years ago. The problem is that those ancient survival systems were built for escaping predators, not surviving endless digital stimulation. Your mind can't always tell the difference between a real danger and an imaginary one. To your brain, an embarrassing memory, an unanswered text, financial uncertainty, and a hungry lion can all trigger surprisingly similar stress responses. That's why your body sometimes feels perfectly healthy while your mind feels completely overwhelmed. And here's the hidden truth almost nobody talks about. The smartest people are often the most mentally exhausted, not because they're weak, but because their brains naturally process more information, notice more patterns, imagine more possibilities, and question more outcomes than the average person. Their greatest strength quietly becomes their greatest source of exhaustion. If everything you've heard so far feels strangely familiar, then what you're about to discover could completely change the way you understand your own mind. Because the biggest cause of your mental exhaustion isn't what you've been doing. It's what your brain has been secretly doing to you all along. If your body isn't doing all the work, then where is all of your energy actually going? The answer begins inside one of the oldest survival systems your brain has ever developed. Your brain has only one primary mission before anything else. Its first job is not to make you happy. Its first job is to keep you alive. That means your brain constantly scans your environment for possible threats even when everything appears perfectly safe. Thousands of years ago, those threats were wild animals, harsh weather, and physical danger. Today, those same survival systems react to deadlines, social rejection, financial uncertainty, relationship problems, and endless digital information. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between a real emergency and an emotional one. That's why reading one stressful email can affect your body almost like facing a physical threat. This process happens so quickly that you rarely notice it. Every stressful thought quietly activates your internal alarm system. Your heart beats a little faster. Your muscles become slightly more tense. Your attention narrows toward possible danger. Your brain starts preparing for problems that may never actually happen. Doing this once isn't harmful. Doing it hundreds of times every single day slowly drains your mental battery. This is called cognitive overload. Cognitive overload happens when your brain receives more information than it can comfortably organize and process. Imagine trying to keep 50 browser tabs open at the same time. Eventually, everything begins slowing down. Your brain experiences something very similar. Every notification becomes another open tab. Every unfinished responsibility becomes another open tab. Every worry about tomorrow becomes another open tab. Every regret from yesterday becomes another open tab. Eventually, your mind feels busy even when you're doing absolutely nothing. This is why many people mistake mental exhaustion for laziness. In reality, their brain has simply been working non-stop behind the scenes. Even relaxing becomes difficult because the mind refuses to stop processing unfinished thoughts. Psychologists sometimes call these unfinished thoughts open loops. Your brain naturally dislikes unfinished situations. It keeps bringing them back into your awareness because it wants closure. That's why you suddenly remember something embarrassing while taking a shower. That's why random worries appear just before you fall asleep. That's why your mind keeps replaying conversations that ended days or even years ago. The strange part is that your brain believes it's helping you. It thinks repeated thinking will eventually solve the problem. But most of the time it only creates more stress without producing any real solution. This endless mental replay slowly consumes attention, focus, creativity, and emotional energy. Over time, your brain begins running in survival mode instead of growth mode. And when survival mode becomes your default setting, even simple daily tasks begin feeling unusually difficult. Making small decisions suddenly feels overwhelming. Concentrating becomes harder than it used to be. You lose motivation for things you once enjoyed. You start believing something is wrong with you. But the truth is often much simpler. Your brain has been carrying invisible psychological weight for far too long. And the most surprising part is that one everyday habit quietly makes this invisible burden even heavier. In the next part, you'll discover the hidden habit that silently rewires your brain, steals your attention, and leaves millions of people mentally exhausted without them ever realizing it. The hidden habit quietly stealing your mental energy isn't working too much. It's something almost every person does hundreds of times every single day without even noticing. Your brain has become addicted to constant stimulation. Every time you unlock your phone, check a notification, or switch between tasks, your brain pays a small psychological price. At first, that price feels almost invisible. But over time, those tiny moments add up into overwhelming mental exhaustion. Scientists have discovered that every interruption forces your brain to reset its focus. Even a 5-second distraction can leave your mind searching for its original train of thought. Now imagine this happening dozens or even hundreds of times every day. Your brain never fully finishes one thought before another one demands attention. Instead of thinking deeply, your mind becomes trapped in endless mental switching. This is one of the biggest reasons so many people feel mentally drained before the day is even over. Your brain isn't simply working harder, it's constantly changing direction. Imagine driving a car that never stays on one road for more than a few seconds. Eventually, you'd waste more energy turning the steering wheel than actually moving forward. Your brain works in a surprisingly similar way. Every distraction silently burns mental fuel, and social media has made this even worse. Every scroll teaches your brain to expect something new within seconds: a funny video, a shocking headline, an emotional story, a breaking news alert, a message from a friend. Your attention never gets the chance to fully settle. Over time, your brain begins craving novelty instead of calm. Silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Doing one task feels boring. Reading a single page without checking your phone becomes surprisingly difficult. The frightening part is that this isn't a lack of discipline. It's your brain adapting to the environment you repeatedly expose it to. The more constant stimulation you consume, the harder it becomes to enjoy stillness. And without stillness, your brain never truly recovers. Psychologists often describe attention as one of your most valuable mental resources. Every unnecessary decision quietly drains that resource. What should I wear today? Should I answer that message now or later? Did I say the wrong thing yesterday? Should I check my phone one more time? These tiny decisions seem harmless on their own. Together, they slowly exhaust your mind. That's why many successful people simplify small daily choices. Not because they can't make decisions, but because they understand that mental energy is limited. The less energy wasted on meaningless choices, the more energy remains for what truly matters. But there is one final reason your brain keeps feeling exhausted that almost nobody talks about. And once you understand it, you'll stop blaming yourself for feeling mentally tired, because the greatest source of your exhaustion isn't hidden in your schedule. It's hidden in the emotional weight you've been carrying without realizing it. And that hidden emotional burden changes everything. The greatest source of your mental exhaustion isn't always the work you do. It's often the emotions you never fully process. Most people believe emotions disappear if they ignore them long enough. But psychology shows something very different. Unprocessed emotions rarely disappear. They simply move deeper into your subconscious mind. Your brain continues carrying them quietly in the background. Imagine trying to run a marathon while carrying an invisible backpack filled with heavy stones. Nobody else can see the weight, but you feel every single step becoming harder. That's exactly what unresolved emotional pain does to your mind. A painful rejection, a broken relationship, years of trying to please everyone around you, constant fear of disappointing people, old childhood criticism you never truly forgot. Each experience quietly teaches your brain to stay alert. Instead of relaxing, your mind remains prepared for the next emotional threat. Even when life is peaceful, your brain behaves as if another storm is about to arrive. This constant emotional vigilance slowly drains your mental energy. That's why some people feel exhausted after spending time with certain people. It's not because the conversation was long. It's because their nervous system never felt emotionally safe. Psychologists often explain that emotional safety allows the brain to recover. Emotional uncertainty forces the brain to stay awake even when your body wants to rest. If you've ever felt tired after pretending everything was fine, you've already experienced this. Pretending requires energy. Hiding your emotions requires energy. Overthinking every interaction requires energy. Trying to become the version of yourself that everyone else expects requires enormous mental energy. Eventually, you stop recognizing how exhausted you've actually become. You simply accept feeling mentally drained as your normal life. But here's the truth that changes everything. Mental exhaustion isn't proof that you're broken. Sometimes it's proof that your brain has been protecting you for far too long. The goal isn't to force your mind to think less. The goal is to give your mind fewer reasons to stay in survival mode. That begins by recognizing which emotional burdens no longer deserve your energy. Because the moment you stop carrying emotional weight that no longer belongs to you, your mind finally has room to breathe. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another mind-blowing psychology video. But there's one final realization that transforms everything you've learned today. And once you understand it, you'll never look at mental exhaustion the same way again. Here's the truth that most people spend their entire lives trying to discover. Your brain isn't replaying painful thoughts because it wants to torture you. It's replaying them because it's trying to protect a future version of you. Every difficult experience leaves behind more than just a memory. It leaves behind a lesson your brain doesn't want you to forget. The problem begins when your mind mistakes endless repetition for learning. It keeps replaying the same emotional moments, hoping that one more replay will finally create peace. But peace rarely comes from repeating the past. Peace comes from understanding it. This is why two people can experience the exact same hardship. One person becomes trapped inside the memory for years. The other quietly grows stronger because of it. The difference isn't intelligence. The difference isn't willpower. The difference is meaning. One person keeps asking, "Why did this happen to me?" The other begins asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That single question changes the way your brain processes emotional pain. Instead of staying trapped in survival mode, your mind slowly begins moving toward growth. Psychologists call this cognitive reframing. It doesn't erase painful experiences. It changes the meaning your brain attaches to them. And once the meaning changes, your emotional response begins to change as well. The memory may still exist, but it no longer controls your thoughts the way it once did. This is why healing isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering without suffering. Your brain becomes lighter because it no longer carries the emotional weight attached to the memory. Imagine setting down a backpack you've been carrying for years. The world hasn't changed, but suddenly, walking feels easier. Your mind works exactly the same way. Mental exhaustion often disappears one emotional burden at a time. Not because life becomes easier, but because your brain finally stops fighting battles that already ended. So the next time you feel mentally exhausted, don't immediately ask yourself how many hours you slept. Ask yourself what invisible weight your mind has been carrying all day. Ask yourself which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones deserve your freedom. Because the strongest minds aren't the ones that think the most. They're the ones that know which thoughts are worth keeping and which thoughts are worth letting go. Your mind was never designed to carry the entire world. It was designed to help you experience it. The moment you stop giving unnecessary thoughts unlimited space inside your head, you make room for clarity, peace, and genuine emotional strength. And perhaps the hidden reason you felt mentally exhausted all this time wasn't because life was too heavy. Perhaps it was because your brain never learned that it was finally safe to rest. The moment it learns that, everything begins to change. Thanks for watching. Wait for the next video. Until then, goodbye.